Hey you guys, it's MJ, how are you? I want to talk about detachment. Detachment's been coming up a little bit in various ways, and what it means, essentially, detachment to me is our ability to expand our awareness so that we're observing our thoughts and emotions rather than being attached to them as true, rather than being attached to them as real, especially because they're not ultimately. They're an aspect of our creative force field rather than our identity itself, because really we are the infinite observer, we are the silent void, we are the eternal witness of life itself, but we are also our experience. There's a connection between that infinite void and that which we are experiencing. So alignment is about us aligning ourselves to that infinite connectivity and merging that infinite connectivity, how it feels aligned, how it feels right and good for our own unique vessel, and allowing ourselves to shine that out into the world. So expressing from that place. And then ultimately, our thoughts and emotions that are not feeling that centered, that's what we hold space for. We step back, and rather than attaching it to a circumstance, attaching all the emotion and thinking it's all real and getting all caught up in it, we pull back away from it and we let ourselves just feel how we've created it, how we can be responsible for it, so that we can heal it, so that we can come back to ourselves and just be present with the present moment. Because that's really all we're working with. And so how does that relate to our manifestation and our loving creation, right? So when we can sort of step back from our cycles, from our thought and emotional patterns, when we notice we're in patterns and we keep seeing them, and then we start to expand, and then we start to look at them, each time we're able to look at things from a different perspective, which helps us just feel more present to the moment, feel more sort of in command and masterful of your energetic output in the present moment, which then that process is what you start to realize you're yoking then a more positive manifestation cycle, that you're breaking free from fearful, divisive, lower level patterns, and you're allowing, and it's really through taking active conscious control of your entirety. So part of that ability to merge is this shift of perspective to totally 100% accept your full emotional field. So we have to sort of come to accept that we all have a light side and a dark side. We're all good and bad. We're all right and wrong. We're all part of the totality of this life. So if we continue to deny or hide behind the illusion, basically, because that's what that world is, in essence, is all of us hiding from ourselves and masking aspects, especially in a polarized world where we try to deem one polarity as the almighty and the other as the horribleness and the awfulness. And so we all want to not look there. We all want to not feel the horribleness and just keep grappling on and chasing this only goodness. But the truth is we're always ebbing and flowing, and ultimately what we're learning is the more we honor and love the shadow, the shade, and the darkness, we can keep rising vibrationally, so we can keep letting go of the darker aspects and then opening our heart field, or opening up our emotional, vibrational, energetic field to more miraculous, more divine, more quantum, more abundant manifestation just through alignment rather than physical force. That's kind of the big leap, that, as it were, that any of us, I think, have to take, is we have to kind of, up different points in our lives, completely go against what other people, what the world around us, what our bank account, whatever, right? We have to completely go against our physical reality and be following this invisible nudging from within our heart space, right? Loving creation, loving manifestation is us, and these beautiful childhood dreams that we carry, these amazing visions for a beautiful world that we carry, that the world, in essence, we've kind of been born on to make makes us frightened to be that expressive channel because it triggers certain things in other people, or because it's not the norm yet, you know? So we fear what we don't know. We are sort of under these veils of limitation and fear and patterns and imprints and ancestral wounds, whatever we want to call it. And we're rising, we're awakening to a broader potential. So more sharing, more love, and for me personally, it's just that, unconditional acceptance, and realizing like, just catching our thoughts. That's the work, catching our thoughts and emotions, and then just keep coming back to love and divine inspired action, however that looks for you, and have faith in yourself, basically. So detachment is nothing to do with like detaching from your emotions, because you have to be conscious and present with it, or detaching from, the suffering of the world. That's really part of your emotional field as well. It's really about, again, just pulling back and observing your creation, which is you, which is your emotions, your thought, observing what's going on and being like, whoa, hey there, is that really what I want to perpetuate? So in that moment, your present moment, you can choose, do I want to perpetuate this energy, or do I want to see it, love it, thank it, whatever, and let it go. Breathe into it, let it go. Breathe into it and let it go until it passes. And you suddenly remember the more truthful essence of who you are, the more merged essence, the more at oneness, the more like soulful eternal being that you are. And then you're like, oh yeah, everything's okay, and I can keep going and keep moving and keep breathing, and other people will do the same, and what other people choose is their choice, and yada 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 yada, right? So all is well. And I'm on my way to a photo/film shoot for a new Sexy Flow conscious movement program that I'm working on. It's really exciting, actually. It's super aligned. Everywhere people are talking about sexuality and lifting the lid, and how sexuality is a big piece for our deeper healing, because it's so distorted in our culture, right? It's so not talked about, shaded. Our desires are masked because we have all these ideas and assumptions about what relationships should look like. We have all this density, and so we block ourselves off and we don't communicate. And lifting the lid on that and being a little bit more open about our authentic desires as beings, and about what we're choosing to create, and honesty and stuff, is just, for me as well, with this last phase in transformation, just so important, because it's dark and it's deep and it's painful, and like otherwise we just keep perpetuating painful cycles with people with these masks on, right? When we're wearing masks and when we're afraid to communicate, we do end up, no matter what, hurting people. And sometimes standing in our integrity can hurt as well. It just depends on where we're at in our journey, and all of our pain that we experience is our learning. And that, like, so I just always have to express the need for us to feel what's there, so that we can explore what we're creating from within self, right? And if we're not in self clear about that, then we just kind of hook in codependent patterns and perpetuate painful cycles or patterns. And like, I'm really feeling that commitment to just expanding and continual transformation, and working with the purity of love and consciousness, of just continuing to surrender to where my sort of life essence and where my soul is guiding me. And I guess just sharing that with you guys and permissioning you guys to do the same thing. That there's this quote coming in from a song about Berg's. We all know when we let the ego go, it's not some dark like void to be afraid of or something like that. Like, it really doesn't take very much for us to be happy and for us to be true to who we are. Sometimes to get there, though, we have to face parts of ourselves. We have to be willing to face conflict and face shadows and face pain and be vulnerable and talk through stuff to get to the core wound, to get to the root of why we're why we're perpetuating, because it's deep and it's expansive, way more so than what we're taught systematically, way more so than what the 3D or whatever world tells us. So to break free from that limited worldview into becoming a sovereign conscious creator is what it is, and it's obviously different for all of us. But again, sharing insights as we traverse the terrain is just a wonderful thing. I'm thankful for you guys, big time. And I hope that was useful to you. Keep loving, keep creating. Most importantly, like love the wholeness of who you are, so that you can have more dominion over how you direct that consciousness, rather than trying to sort of hide from parts of yourself and then just kind of in a toxic way keep manifesting this kind of uncomfortable and weird, I like weird, but like shadowy, confusing, doubt-ridden, fearful of other people's opinions, and like all of those shades that subtly keep holding us back from shining, so keep shining, guys. Keep showing up for yourself and watch your world transform. It's amazing. It really is just an incredible process. And even to the point of knowing, feeling, it's just amazing. I love you guys loads, and I look forward to just continuing to share with you. If you did enjoy that, don't forget to subscribe and like and do all that juicy stuff. Love you guys. I'll speak to you real soon.